Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Sophie Erber. Sioux City Police tonight upping the charges against a teenager for the fatal Walker Street shooting. We have the latest now in our top story at 5. 19-year-old Christopher Morales of Sioux City is now being charged with first-degree murder. He was arrested and charged with lesser offenses back on January 3rd. Police say Morales is one of the gunmen who fired into a house on Walker Street on January 1st. As a result, Mia Critis was fatally shot at a New Year's Eve party. 3 others were struck by gunfire that night. They are still recovering from their wounds. Morales, so far, is the only suspect police have identified in this case. Detectives, though, working to find others they believe are involved. So if you have any information, you are asked to call the number there on your screen, 712-258-TIPS. And in news out of our nation's capital, the U.S. House tonight voting to impeach President Trump, making him the first president to be impeached twice. KCAU 9 Washington correspondent Rashad Hudson has the latest.
I feel he's no longer fit to serve.
Ohio Representative Marcy Kaptur joined her Democratic colleagues and some Republicans in supporting the impeachment of President Trump.
This kind of behavior, and then with his supporters like this, are un-American.
Every moment Donald Trump is in the White House, our nation, our freedom is in danger.
Massachusetts Congressman Jim McGovern says the president must be held accountable for the attack on the Capitol. A majority of House Republicans say impeaching President Trump with just 1 week left in office will only lead to division in the country.
There's no way this helps the nation deal with the tragic and terrible events of last week that we all condemn.
Both Ohio Republican Congressman Jim Jordan and Missouri Congressman Jason Smith call the move to impeach political games by Democrats.
For the first time, can the House Democrats and the Speaker of the House put the people before politics?
A trial in the Republican-controlled Senate may not happen until after President Trump leaves office on January 20th. In Washington, Rashad Hudson.
The FBI warning of armed protests at all 50 state capitals in the days leading up to President-elect Joe Biden's inauguration. That, of course, set for January 20th. In South Dakota, a pro-Trump Christian group now has a permit to gather at the state capitol. On Sunday, members of Jericho March plan to walk around the capitol and pray for the country, they say. Roughly 50 people are expected to gather there. Now, state officials say past gatherings of the group at the state capitol have been peaceful and no arrests were made. In other news tonight, 2020 saw many industries lose customers. But last year, Sioux City saw record-setting growth in the housing market. The city saw its highest number of residential housing construction in 2020 in 15 years. That is, with more than 500 new housing units. The previous high was from the year before with 363 units. The Economic and Community Development Director says he thinks the trend will continue, which will, of course, have a long-term effect on Sioux City.
Without places to live, you can't have more people, you can't grow your population, your economy doesn't grow. So it's a key amenity, it's a key factor in the growth of a community. So I think long-term this means our population will grow. We'll have more economic activity. It's good for retail.
And coming up tonight at 6, KCAU 9's Lydia Vasquez explains how the housing growth also affects the housing market as a whole. Well, the pandemic has brought on many burdens for families, especially when it comes to finances. The Community Action Agency is doing what they can to help tonight. Applications are officially open for its low-income home energy assistance program, also known as LIHEAP. You can apply online or in person. You do not have to be jobless or on the verge of an electricity shutdown to apply. If you recently had your wages or your hours cut, you could still qualify.
These amounts are not small amounts to help against that utility bill, and it's really important that people are not falling behind. You know, that's what we don't want to see when something like this is available to them.
If you tried applying at the end of last year but got denied, you're asked to reapply and see. The average amount has been given to LIHEAP applicants, roughly around $450. And it's time tonight for our first check on the weather. Meteorologist Marcus Beasley standing by. Marcus, definitely not one of those nights or days where you need to turn the heat on. In fact, it really did feel like spring. You hear those birds chirping again?
That's right, Sophie. Yeah, definitely a nice sunny day throughout Siouxland with temperatures warm. And again, those birds out there making a lot of noise. I hope they're not too fooled by it because it does look like we are going to see a cool down in the coming days. 50 degrees was our recorded high temperature here in Sioux City. Norfolk 55 today, 48 in Wayne, as well as Lamar's 49 degrees for your high in Yankton and 46 in Storm Lake and Spencer. Overnight tonight, temperatures they will drop into the low to mid 30s, and there is a chance of a wintry mix moving in late tonight and into tomorrow morning. But Friday, that's the day where we could see some snow. I'll have more details on all of that coming up in the 9 on 9 forecast. Sophie?
All right, thanks, Marcus. Siouxland Tyson employees will soon be offered COVID-19 vaccines. This on the heels of the meatpacking company partnering up with Matrix Medical Network. Now, the goal is to educate Tyson workers about the vaccine while giving them access to it. Mobile health clinics will then be set up throughout the year to provide those services and in multiple languages. Availability of the vaccine will, of course, vary by state, but Tyson says any worker who wants one will receive the shot. To date, Tyson has invested more than $540 million to add protective measures into its facilities. And Dollar General taking a different approach to the COVID-19 vaccines, giving an incentive to get one. The retailer now offering to pay its employees for getting vaccinated. According to a report from the Wall Street Journal, DG workers will receive 4 hours of pay in return for that immunization. Dollar General is not providing the vaccine itself, but it is one of the first big employers to offer a monetary incentive for its employees. Let's take a look now at the latest COVID-19 numbers here reported in Siouxland. Woodbury County health officials recording 2 additional virus-related deaths. 46 new cases bring the county past the 12,800 total case mark. In Nebraska, Dakota County with 118 new confirmed cases over 2 weeks' time. That according to the state health department. And in South Dakota, Lincoln County reports 19 new cases. The county's positivity rate stands at roughly 13%. A recent study tonight shows that masks really do help protect both the wearer and those nearby. With more, here is ABC News' Faith Abube.
As the country battles the coronavirus, scientists continue to publish studies on how to better understand and combat the virus. A new study conducted at Virginia Tech shows cloth face coverings really do help protect both the person wearing it and those nearby. The N95 mask is still the gold standard, but for inward and outward protection in high-risk working conditions, cloth face coverings can also be effective in decreasing risk of breathing particles in and out. Researchers used the same testing tools the National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health used to estimate 95% efficiency on N95 masks. They looked at 10 face coverings and 1 face shield. They found that a 3-layer mask with 2 outer layers of flexible, tightly woven fabric and an inner layer of filtering material could be more than 70% effective at blocking the most penetrating particle size. And if the mask is well fitted to the wearer's face, the effectiveness for particles 1 micron and larger jumps to more than 90%. For everyday use for most Americans, a cloth face covering and prevention practices like hand washing can be our best fight against the coronavirus. The study did have its limitations. The subjects were mannequins, and masks don't fit well against hard surfaces. But keep in mind, when fitted well against human skin, which is more flexible, it may give better protection. Again, more experts say masks work and even more effective when combined with other practices to slow the spread of COVID-19. With this Medical Minute, I'm Faith Abube, ABC News.
And we are learning tonight that the United States is now requiring all arriving passengers to get a COVID-19 test. So this is new. Anyone flying to the United States will soon need to show proof that they have a negative test. The CDC says that the order will officially go into effect January 26th. The country already facing a surge of COVID-19 cases, as we know, and new and more contagious variants of the virus are popping up worldwide, plus here in the United States. The CDC says these tests will not eliminate the risk, but it will slow the spread as Americans wait to get vaccinated. Those traveling to the United States will need to get their test within 3 days of their flights. In-person trials in Iowa are set to resume in February. Virus precautions force the court system to enact 2 shutdowns of jury trials and hold remote hearings instead. But Iowa Supreme Court Chief Justice Susan Christensen says she's determined to resume in-person trials next month. Giving the annual condition of the judiciary speech on Wednesday, Christensen said judiciary officials work to balance the need to keep people safe, also with a commitment to conduct court business. And we now go live to Floyd Boulevard here in Sioux City, where we're hearing there's a large police presence. You can see there, we're not exactly sure at this time. Officials are not saying what caused their large presence there, but of course, do stick with KCAU 9 News. We'll keep you updated on both our website, our mobile app, and later on your broadcast right here on KCAU 9. In March, one woman received her first ever mammogram, but that routine test quickly became life-changing for her. She had cancer. How she fought it coming up.
And wintry mix moves in tonight. Very windy conditions as well throughout the next few days, and then snow on Friday. Details on all of that after the break.
You're watching KCAU 9 News with Sophie Erber and meteorologist Marcus Beasley. This is KCAU 9 News at 5.
Thanks for sticking with us. I hope you got outside today, Marcus. We had a beautiful day here in Siouxland. Really a tease, especially with what's to come.
Right. It looks like some big changes are in the forecast for really tonight and into tomorrow, and that will continue into Friday as well. The view outside from the KCAU 9 studio brought to you by the Port Neal Welding Company, beginning to show those changes in progress out there. We are seeing clouds increasing, and that's the first step to what is going to happen overnight tonight, tomorrow, and into Friday as well. Temperatures outside right now still mild, though, for this time of year. 42 degrees in Sioux City, 41 in Lamar's, 40 in Wayne, Yankton at 46. We're seeing 38 right now in Spencer. And 40 a little bit. I think by Friday afternoon, we'll see roughly around 1 to 3 inches. So not a lot of snow, but again, winds are going to be kicking up a lot of this snow. Visibility could definitely be an issue when driving during the day on Friday. Overnight tonight, 31 degrees for your low temperature, wintry mix, and it does look like winds gusting at times up to 40 miles per hour tonight. Tomorrow, light wintry mix possible, with winds gusting up to around 50. And a quick look at your 9 on 9 forecast. We are going to see temperatures steady in the mid-30s for next week. Sophie?
All right, thanks so much, Marcus. And we did want to update the Floyd Boulevard situation we brought you earlier in this newscast. Sioux City Police providing an update. Officers stopped a vehicle that was connected to the Walker Street shooting. They have detained some suspects. We do have more information, but that will be provided on our website. That's SiouxlandProud.com, along with our free mobile news app as soon as officials make that information available to us. Well, a fatal crash claimed the lives of some Texas firemen, and that's when one man knew he could help out the Fit Better helmets. How he's doing it coming up. But first, a woman received her cancer diagnosis back in March. As the rest of the world fought COVID-19, she focused on surviving her own health scare. Her story of survival next. A Louisiana woman says she's thankful tonight after beating cancer, but her diagnosis came at a stressful time right at the beginning of the pandemic. Hunter Elise shares her story.
Audrey Harvey had her first ever mammogram back in March when the pandemic first started. After she had a biopsy done, it was confirmed she had breast cancer.
When I went in there, I thought I was just going to be, in and out, get my results in a week, just like every other test, it seems like. Not the case. It was absolutely crazy. And very scary.
Harvey says for every appointment, her family wasn't even allowed to be physically in the room with her due to the pandemic, similar to other patients all around the country.
I've had them on the phone or FaceTime, things like that, but it's been pretty scary.
Through the roughly 10 months in her battle with cancer, and despite the hardships she faced, Harvey continued to persevere.
I have learned that I'm much tougher than I thought I was. I've always thought I've been a pretty strong person. I've really leaned on the Bible and just, I've been able to do a lot more than I ever imagined I thought I could, which is insane. And you find it out during cancer and a pandemic and you're like, what in the world?
Now heading into 2021 with a new mindset, Harvey says her battle will never be forgotten.
This will be a year to remember for more than one reason. This community it's beyond amazing. To be part of Monroe's community is something special.
Well, one fire department found their protective hats had a flaw. They were only fireproof, not impact proof. How they're testing out new helmets to replace the old ones next. A Texas man is making sure his fellow firemen are safe when they're responding to vehicle crashes. Alyssa Tellez shows us how.
These are the finishing touches. A sticker here and another there. a small part of an entire year leading up to now.
Everybody wants to be more protected. Everybody wants to go home to their loved ones at the end of the shift.
After the January 11th crash, taking the lives of Lieutenant Eric Hill and police officer Nicholas Reyna, and leaving firefighter Matt Dawson severely injured. It didn't take long before Lieutenant Brady Robinette knew he had to do something about it.
Helmets that we currently have, they're really good for fighting fire, but they're not so good at providing protection for the drastically different type of forces we'd see at a wreck. Assembly right here.
Lubbock Fire built a machine to test helmets and how well they stay on the head, testing their own helmets, hard hats, and even off-roading helmets, with this one coming out on top.
Is a helmet that's used for another industry. It's used for specialized search and rescue inside the fire service.
This helmet has a 4-point chin strap and foam to protect the head.
It provides impact absorption.
And while his research isn't totally scientific, Robinette's work has now been published in Fire Engineering magazine, with more than 300 helmets waiting in storage for every fireman in the hub city. It takes about 10 minutes to prepare each of these helmets before they're sent out to 19 different stations across Lubbock. And once they're in the boxes, they're ready to go. So as each helmet gets its moment under the gun, it's only the beginning of an even bigger goal.
To get a helmet in the hands of anybody that's on the roadway, that works on the roadway.
More protection for those who protect us.
Most people think it's a good idea.
Let's take a live look outside now. Marcus returns with one more check on our forecast. First, this look of Storm Lake. Before wrapping up here at 5, let's check in first with Tim for what's coming up at 6. Hi, Tim.
Hey, good afternoon, Sophie. And of course, we continue to follow the situation on the city's north side this afternoon with a large police presence there, apparently involving the New Year's Day shooting here in Sioux City as officers had made a traffic stop. The latest from that scene coming up tonight at 6. Elsewhere, changes including the release of the entire supply of COVID vaccines. Instead of holding some in storage for a second dose, soon will be in place. Find out what that means for local distribution here in Sioux City. We'll have that. And, of course, other stories. That's all coming up tonight right here after World News Tonight. Sophie?
All right, we'll see you then. Thanks a lot, Tim. And one more check on our weather overnight. Things already brewing in the change department.
Yeah, it's going to be a cold night tonight. A chance of a wintry mix moves in tonight and into early tomorrow morning.
Thanks, Marcus. And thank you for joining us. Good night.